We're going to be looking at Box and Whiskers today, and that's a continuation really from yesterday when we were looking at the quartiles and all that kind of good stuff. It's just a way of visually looking at what do the quartiles, medians, and all that kind of good stuff mean. So, without further ado, this is what a box and whisker looks like. So here's your box, and then obviously it's kind of like cat whiskers out to the side. So I know that there, whenever you get your EOG reports, I've always noticed a little box and whisker in the corner. I don't know of in everyday life other than that when box and whiskers are used a whole lot, but they are on the integrate test, but they are used some, but they do give us lots of information. So as I was saying earlier, that this is what a box and whisker looks like. I'm going to just label some things. Remember, we talked about finding the median. Okay, so it makes sense that the median is going to be in the middle. Okay, so this line tells you the median. Now the first dot is going to tell you the lower extreme, which makes sense. So if this is the lower extreme, then this is going to be the upper extreme. And then these two pieces are going to be our quartiles. So the first line that you get to is going to be, I'm going to put just LQ for lower quartile, and then you get to the median, and then this line is going to be your upper quartile. Now remember that the median, that's where half of your information comes. Now I kind of drew this one symmetrical, which each piece looks about the same, but they're not going to always look that way because sometimes the numbers are really spread out. So I just drew some different box and whiskers. So here, this is still the extreme, lower quartile. We go way down here to get to the median, the upper quartile, and then the extreme. All this tells us is that the numbers between here and here were really spread out, and that the numbers here were really close together. So again, here, these are really spread out. These are really close together. These are really close together. That's all that it's just showing us visually what's going on. But each section has the same amount of numbers in it. Okay? So, let's make a box and whisker real quickly. So, remember the first thing that we need to do is find the median. And I used simple numbers so it could be made easily. So, there's the median. I cover that up. Find the median again. So, that is my lower quartile. And we'll put an M for median, cover that up, and this is my upper quartile. So when I say that each thing is separated evenly, there's only one number in between them, so this was a really small set of data points. So the first dot, and we'll put this over here. Our first dot is going to be our lower extreme, so in this case it's a 2. So I'm going to go up above the line, and I'm going to put a dot for my 2. So there's my lower extreme. Then my lower quartile, which is my first part of my box, is at the 3. Okay? Then I'm going to finish up a box at my median of 6. So I go over to 6, which spreads out a little bit more. So there's my median at 6. I continue the third part of my box, and it tells me to go all the way to 9. So now I have to go to 9. And mine's not real straight, but that's okay. And then my upper extreme is going to be all the way at 10. Okay? So now we have our box and whisker. We took all of this information and then we graphed it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the box and whiskers that we did the other day, and we're going to graph them instead of doing the mean and the quartiles and all that kind of stuff. We've already done these. So let's just graph what we did the other day. It tells us the lower extreme is at 5. So I'm going to put a dot on 5. The lower quartile is at 7. Well, this is 10, and this is 5, so I know it should be somewhere in the middle. Now I go to 15 for my median. So my median is a box. And then I go, my upper quartile is 30. So you see my numbers start to get a little more spread out. And then I go to 35. So that would be the box and whisker for that data that we did the other day. So box and whisker is not that hard. They kind of look funny, but they're not that hard. Okay, so here's the next one that we did. So we've got to find our lower extreme, which is our dot. So we've got to have a dot on 16. Well, here's 10. In the middle should be 15. So I'm going to say roughly right in here should be 16. It's not going to be exact because I've got some space in there. Then I need to go to 36. Well, 36, in between 30 and 40 is where we're going to find 36. So we're going to put a line here. We're going to connect. Then the median is at 55. So I'm going to go in between 50 and 60. Then I have to go, my upper quartile is 62, so go just past that 60. And then my upper extreme is 75, so I'm going to put a dot in between 70 and 80. So there's my box and whisker for that data. Now let's see, we still got some more. Now this one is, it's not harder, it's just longer. So you're not set on how to make your scale at the bottom. It just needs to be consistent. So our lower extreme is 2. So I'm going to start way down here with a dot. I'm going to go to 28 for my lower quartile, which is my first line. So that's going to be close to the 30. Then I'm going to go to 43.5. So that's going to be close to 45. And then I'm going to go to 80. So that's just before the 90. And then I have a dot on 105. So remember, I'm going to write on this one. This was your lower extreme. So we're really not finding out how to find any new data. It's just how to graph it. So here's our lower extreme, our lower quartile, our median, our upper quartile, and our upper extreme. If you've got any questions about making these box and whiskers, let me know. One thing I do want to remind you is when you get ready to do your medians and your quartiles, make sure you order these from least to greatest.